And we build our nation together. I say come, and we build our nation together. And we build our nation together. I say come, and we build our nation together. Come, and we build our nation together. Come together, 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 together. I say come, and we build our nation together.
I say, come. Let we build a nation together. I want to welcome you to the Dynamic Hour. Again, we have a moment in time to talk, to reason, to look at our beautiful country, the state of Grenada, which includes Carriacou and PT Martinique. Because what we want is to see this place transformed. What we want is a better Grenada for all of our people. This morning, I was listening to a program and someone called and spoke about the condition of our roads and made a request for a particular piece of road to be fixed. And then another gentleman called in and say, well, to be fair to the government, they are fixing quite a number of our roads in nearly all the constituencies. They're widening them, they're adding drains to them, they are patching differently, they are resurfacing the roads, they are fixing quite a number of roads. So people are being fair, people are being observant. So while there might be roads to be fixed, there are people who can observe that quite a number of our roads are being fixed and new roads are being constructed. So that is what we want to foster, reasoning. So yes, a person could point out there is a need for this piece of road to be fixed. And another could say, let's give them credit. They have been doing a fantastic job in fixing our roads, in expanding our roads, or widening our roads. That is what we seek to have you do, to see things objectively. And I want to start off in the health sector. Or maybe before that, I can play 2 or 3 pieces of positive news items that I think you should hear about or you should know about. You may have heard the government of Grenada has signed an agreement or MOU with the government of Ghana. Our beloved Prime Minister made a well, it's a state visit. So he did a state visit, an official state visit to Ghana with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and other members of his team. And it was quite a rewarding one. So they signed an agreement to have nurses from Ghana join the medical team here or to work at the general hospital and clinics, because we all know there are shortages. Our nurses are going on to greener pastures. Can't run away from that. It has been happening for many, many, many years. And we are in need of nurses. And the government is trying its best to get as many as possible to be a part of the healthcare system in Grenada. So they signed this MOU, and very soon we will have some nurses from Ghana right here in Grenada. We have some nurses from Nigeria right here in Grenada already. So let me just play that for you.
The agreement was formalized earlier today in Accra during an official visit by Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell and Foreign Affairs Minister Joseph Ando. It is designed to address Grenada's shortage of skilled healthcare workers and enhance healthcare delivery on the island. For Ghana, the initiative offers its nurses valuable international experience while supporting the sustainable development of its health system. The MOU was signed by the foreign ministers of both countries.
You may now proceed to sign the MOUs. The two foreign ministers will now exchange the MOU.
This partnership aims to improve healthcare services in Grenada, address workforce gaps, and strengthen the nation's public health response. For Ghana, it provides international exposure and professional growth for nurses, while fostering cooperation in health, human resources, and people-to-people exchanges.
Subject correction, I think we've asked for 30. The MOU is for a 2-year period that allows it to be renewed. But I think it's important to emphasize that currently our needs are probably more than what we're asking for. This obviously is the start of it, and we look forward to the partnership growing and fledgling.
Beyond the health sector, the agreement represents a broader commitment to deepening ties between the Caribbean and Africa, advancing South-South cooperation, and promoting diplomatic, technical, and educational collaboration. It is expected to serve as a model for future cooperation in areas such as education, trade, and capacity building under the Africa-CARICOM partnership. The MOU will take effect following the completion of internal ratification processes in both countries. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell emphasized the significance of the agreement, stating this partnership reflects our shared commitment to improving the quality of life of our citizens through enhanced healthcare services and reinforces the friendly relationship between our countries and open new avenues for collaboration in health and wellness.
Yes, so thank you very much there, the journalist from GBN. Again, just saying, and I think that's Eugenia Peters. Again, just saying the government is serious about healthcare. We saw earlier during this year the announcement that some Nigerian nurses and healthcare professionals will join the healthcare system here in Grenada, and they've arrived already, and I suppose they're functioning in different clinics.
Health Minister Philip Telesford on Wednesday disclosed that the government of Grenada has signed an agreement with the government of Nigeria, enabling Nigerian healthcare specialists to provide their services in Grenada to boost the country's healthcare system. Minister Telesford was at the time responding to a question posed by a journalist about government's plan to increase staff in the public healthcare system.
We have signed an agreement with the Nigerian government for some professionals, specialists to come into our system. I think it's 9 or so specialists that are coming in. And we continue to forge these strategic relationships with our partners globally to have people come into our system.
The health minister also said that the government will continue to forge these strategic relationships with global partners to enable other healthcare providers to take up opportunities in Grenada.
Recognize that we do not and will not have all of the resources here locally. So we definitely have to hire in the resources that we do not have. So the strategy really is to, one, prepare our people while we continue to forge alliances with our global partners.
The health minister made a plea for more Grenadians, especially young people, to prepare themselves to take up the various opportunities that will become available directly and indirectly from the proposed climate-smart, resilient medical complex, envisaged to become the medical destination of choice for the Americas.
Right. So again, we are seeing major progress in the healthcare system. So we have that MOU signed with Ghana. So we will get about 30 nurses and specialists, let's say specialist nurses coming into Grenada from Ghana. We already got 9 or 10 from Nigeria. And we have those that came from SGU. They are now in that internship program for 6 months. All right, for 6 months. That's a very important program, if you ask me.
On Monday, the Ministry of Health launched its first nurses internship program at the General Hospital. 23 nursing students, including 1 male, will participate in the 6-month program aimed at helping newly qualified registered nurses transition smoothly into the medical workforce. The internship program will provide hands-on clinical experience under the supervision of licensed professionals, enabling the application of theoretical knowledge, development of essential nursing skills, and demonstration of safe, evidence-based patient care across diverse health care settings. Each intern will be assigned a mentor who works within the nursing department of the Grenada's General Hospital Services and will be rotated to various departments and fields during the 6-month program. The program will also foster the development of professional behaviors, including effective communication, teamwork, ethical decision-making, and time management, preparing interns to function confidently and collaboratively within interdisciplinary healthcare teams.
Right, so this is good news. So that's 23 of them. Many of them completed their first degree at St. George's University and elsewhere, but particularly St. George's University. So you're talking about 23. 39. All right. So we are on track. And very soon you would have more coming into the system. Sometime earlier this year, they brought in about 8 doctors, and even earlier, or the latter part of last year. So earlier this year, I think it was 8 doctors, but the latter part of last year, they brought in, I think, about 5 or 6 new doctors. So you will not hear about those things from the opposition. You will not. We also know about the new kitchen that the government installed.
The state-of-the-art kitchen at the General Hospital, which had been closed for a couple of years for major upgrades, is now fully operational with modern equipment, improved food safety systems, and expanded meal preparation capabilities. The upgraded facility includes enhanced refrigeration and storage units and energy-efficient cooking stations. Hospital administrators say the revamped kitchen will ensure patients received fresh, nutritious, and tailored meals, an essential element of recovery and overall health outcomes. Minister for Health, Honorable Philip Telesford, emphasized the government's commitment to investing in healthcare infrastructure that directly benefits patients.
So this is our opportunity to utilize the equipment, the environment, the human resources available to us, and the ingredients to deliver healing properties to the patients. We are on a mission to transform healthcare in Grenada.
And the opening of this kitchen today is part of this mission, outfitting it with the best available equipment, creating the right environment for you, the staff, to work, is part of that mission.
Acting Director of Hospital Services, Hannah St. Paul, emphasized the importance of this interrogation.
We all know that good nutrition is a vital component of our healthcare, and this kitchen stands as a beacon of our dedication to that important principle. We are embarking on a new chapter filled with opportunities to nourish our patients, support our staff, and enhance the overall healing experience for our patients.
The recommissioned kitchen is part of a broader initiative by the General Hospital to improve patient experience through infrastructure upgrades.
Yes, so thank you, MTV, there for that piece. The government is at work. You will not hear the opposition talking about these things. They will complain, they will grind, they will groan, they will moan. They're all about doom and gloom. The partnership with Mount Sinai is producing a lot of fruits.
My name is Dr. Abigail Noel, and I am the head of department at the Accident and Emergency Department, also known as Casualty. As head of department, I am responsible for coordination, and I'm also responsible for training of staff. Training of staff is to enhance our staff, not just in the medical, but also in personal well-being. We have been working along with Mount Sinai since November, and in that time, we have had such a great experience with the Mount Sinai team. One thing I love about Mount Sinai is their spirit of collaboration. They came in with ideas that we were able to discuss, and we were able to implement them. There are so many processes that they have implemented here, especially in the emergency department, that have transformed our department in real time. One of the things that I would mention is the implementation of ID bands for every patient that comes through the emergency department. So once you get in here, once you're triaged by the triage nurse at the front, you receive an identification band. And as we can imagine, that has decreased patient errors, have decreased errors in identification of patients. Because here in the emergency department, not everyone comes in able to talk or able to give information. So having an identification band on each patient has really helped us improve patient care and decrease errors. Another process that they have implemented is defibrillators on every ward, including the emergency department. Defibrillators basically are those machines that you would see on TV where they shock people. We have those on every ward. We have also started training staff in how to adequately utilize these machines. Thus far, 128 staff members have been trained in defibrillator use, and this includes Grenada and Carrico. Mount Sinai has implemented a huddle system. It is a system that I have had experience in because I had experience working with Mount Sinai in Guyana. The huddle system is basically a small meeting, like a 15-minute meeting with all team members. And when I say all team members, I mean security guards, receptionists, maids, nurses, doctors, everyone who is on duty in the department at the time, drivers, very important. They come in for a mini 15-minute check-in where we discuss any issues to patient flow from the prior shift, and also not just issues, but also compliments, great things that happened on the shift. One of the advantages of huddle that I have seen in our department is that it improves communication between staff members as well as with patients. And also staff members have a sense of confidence They feel seen, they feel heard, and they understand that their role is important. This transformation means everything to the emergency department and by extension, the health system. They are giving us the tools and the knowledge so that we can accelerate, that we can fix our problems, and then the systemic issues, they would be resolved over time. But we are resolving our issues internally, and I've seen a great improvement, especially in the emergency department, and I expect that we are going to improve even more, and I'm very excited about that.
Yes, that's really good. The partnership with Mount Sinai Hospital, one of the best in the world, is growing fruits, and I love that. I really do. I think I saw another piece from Mount Sinai. They're actually helping training quite a number of staff members at the hospital. Yes, so quite a bit is happening in the healthcare sector. We know about the new hospital project. All right, we know about that. Let me give you a little update there. So I think I saw a little update on it. But before I do, we know about the new, two fully commissioned ambulances that were handed over.
On Wednesday, 2nd April 2025, the Ministry of Health officially commissioned 2 fully loaded 4x4 ambulances designed to improve our medical emergency response service. Valued at nearly $1 million EC, the state-of-the-art emergency vehicles were placed at the General and Princess Alice hospitals, respectively, following a short ceremony held in St. George's. In addressing the gathering, Health Minister Honorable Philip Telesford described the ambulances as vital investments and shared responsibility.
Yes. So again, you know about that. Since then, I think they got some more assistance in that area. All right. But things are happening in the healthcare system. Things are happening there. Let me see. The new hospital will become operational sometime in 2029 once everything goes as planned.
The government of Grenada is creating a world-leading, climate-smart medical city. And this hospital will be a teaching and research hospital, and it will replace the existing general hospital for Grenada. So just in May, a couple months ago, the government of Grenada entered into a long-term collaboration agreement with Mount Sinai Health Systems, which is one of the leading academic medical institutions in the world, based in New York, USA. So for the hospital component, we'll be breaking ground next year, and we are on a schedule to be operational by 2029.
Yes, so that's the target, 2029. By now, you know about the co-financing with the Afro-Exim Bank and Grenada. Well, Afro-Exim Bank co-financing the project, and there will be other partners coming on board. The government of Grenada, of course, and the Afro-Exim Bank will be pumping $670 million EC dollars into this project. That's a lot of money. That's more than $500 million. That's almost $750 million. All right, EC. So they're well on their way to getting that $1 billion and to seeing this project completed. So far, so good. But I'm saying that all of these things are happening. You will not hear the opposition speak about these things. They're not interested in that. They're all about the doom and gloom and complain. And in fact, the Honorable Andy Williams had a very nice engagement recently with the folks from Trinidad involved in getting legs for amputees. And hope is on the way for many of the amputees.
Amputees in Grenada will soon have better access to prosthetic limbs and mobility support. The government of Grenada, in collaboration with the Trinidad and Tobago Orthotics and Prosthetic Center, hosted a one-day event today at the Grenada Trade Center to introduce plans for expanding these services locally. The Trinidad and Tobago Orthotics and Prosthetic Center is well known for its work in rehabilitation, community health, and providing customized prosthetics care to individuals with limb loss and mobility challenges. Minister for Mobilization, Implementation and Transportation, Andy Williams, explained that after recognizing the high cost and limited access faced by local amputees, contact was made with the company to explore partnership opportunities.
Mr. Goodell is willing to come to Grenada to open a business and to see how we can take care of our needs here on the island. And in that case, we will do our best to see what we can do to support him in this initiative. We have the old license center building in Dusty Highway. That's where what's left to ruins. And we are now refurbishing it. We went to the area for him to see if it's suitable for the business. And he admitted that it is suitable. So that's one option that we have. And again, he will be looking at other options to see where he can locate it.
Minister Williams added that the government will also be working to assist individuals who are unable to afford prosthetics devices.
I will be going to the private sector. I've instructed my technical officer already to start doing the letters out so that we can get them to sponsor and to join with us in this initiative. We are going to do our best from the government side of it to see what we can do to cushion the costs of it also, in order to make it affordable for everyone that needs a leg, right? So we are not saying that we could, save the world, but we are going to do our best to save the world. Let's put it like that, right?
Director of the Trinidad and Tobago Orthotics and Prosthetic Center, Mario Gabriel, said he is eager to begin the process of establishing operations in Grenada.
Operating in Trinidad and Tobago for the last 20 years, we had a lot of patients from across the Caribbean, but majority from other Caribbean islands are from Grenada. And it makes absolutely no sense that when you lose a leg to travel across and come over there. So what we plan to do, what we will do, we will open a business permanently in Grenada. We also will train and employ local people. All right.
Several participants at the event expressed gratitude and optimism, describing the initiative as life-changing and a step towards greater independence and inclusion for amputees across the island.
Life's so easy for me, so I could basically, as you see, I come on my own before I need assistance. I'm in a wheelchair, and not everywhere is wheelchair accessible, so I couldn't go anywhere apart from just maybe the supermarket or so forth. And as I said, I got my legs now, I could go anywhere.
I have to stress on the need for that to happen in Grenada, because you might know there's a lot of people in Grenada who have amputees, and a lot of people, some of them maybe can't even afford to get one. So if we have a place here in Grenada we could get these things, it's a very good initiative. It's very, very good. I'm very happy. I mean, myself, I might consider myself getting one now.
The initiative marks as a major step towards providing mobility support for persons with disability in Grenada, helping them to regain their independence and improve their quality of life.
Right, so thank you, GBN, for that piece there. That's a really touching piece. And folks, this is something that should have been done years ago, because as you listen to the gentleman, he said Yes, amputees are coming from many of the Caribbean islands, but quite a number of them are coming from Grenada. And we know that we have a lot of people in Grenada who lost their legs and need to get a leg, all right, to get moving again. And it's not that they want to stay home, you know. It's not that they want to depend on anyone. They want to be able to move around. And this is a good opportunity for that to happen. So again, it takes the government, the most Honorable Deacon Mitchell and his team, and here the Honorable Andy Williams, to team up to get this going. But you will not hear the opposition speak about these things. They're not interested in it. They will not highlight it. They would not acknowledge it. That is not their agenda. They want to talk about negative stuff. They want to focus on things that they believe will give them mileage. And many of the things that they talk about, they concoct it. They make it up. They create it themselves. Sometimes it's just in their mind. And they would make people believe that it's reality and it's true because they want to complain. They want to grind and groan. That's what they're accustomed to. They will not talk about positive stuff that's happening throughout Grenada, CARICOM, and Petit Martinique.
Youth entrepreneurs will soon have access to a maximum of $30,000 under the Youth in Business Fund, a joint initiative between the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Grenada Development Bank. The fund will consist of loans for startup and established businesses, which will carry a fixed interest rate of 1% with terms of 5 to 7 years. Both parties recently signed a memorandum of understanding. GDB's communications officer, Ria Murray, has more in this report.
The Government of Grenada and Grenada Development Bank are once again partnering to provide youth entrepreneurs with access to concessional financing. The Ministry of Youth and Sports and the GDB recently signed a memorandum of understanding for the Youth in Business Fund, which will offer concessional loans, grants, and technical support to young entrepreneurs with emphasis on agribusiness ventures. The initiative forms part of government's broader effort to promote youth entrepreneurship and job creation under the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Signing on behalf of the Ministry of Youth and Sports was Permanent Secretary Kim Frederick, and General Manager Royston Cumberbatch signed on behalf of the GDB at the bank's headquarters, Melville Street, St. George's. The Youth in Business Fund will aid startup and established businesses focused on apiculture, hydroponics and vertical farming, crop and livestock production, agro-processing, value-added products, and climate-smart and tech-integrated farming. The fund is designed to support registered beneficiaries of the program between the ages of 18 and 35, specifically targeting unemployed and underemployed individuals, as well as fishers, agricultural workers, agro-processors, and young entrepreneurs seeking to enhance their income-generating potential. The objectives of the fund are to increase access to financing, promote sustainable business growth, job creation, and economic growth. The fund will consist of loans for startup and established businesses, which will carry a fixed interest rate of 1% with terms of 5 to 7 years and a maximum amount of EC $30,000. Grants of up to EC $3,000 will also be available. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Kim Frederick, and GDB General Manager Royston Cumberbatch both shared their excitement for the upcoming program.
This is a significant milestone, yes, where the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Grenada Development Bank can collaborate in respect of the implementation of the Youth in Business initiative. This is an initiative that will empower our young people. It will provide concessionary financing to them so that they can get involved in agribusiness, in other agricultural endeavors. They will generate employment. We would see expansion, of products in agriculture. And so we are very happy that we have achieved this milestone, and we look forward to the successful implementation of this initiative.
Of course, we know that youths are really the backbone of the economy, and to be able to help them in the area of business, and then more specifically in the area of agribusiness, we should definitely see more productivity coming out, maybe more products on the market, and of course, more employment for the youth. So I think, all in all, I'm very happy that the GDB is able to partner with the Ministry of Youth and Sports to implement this very, very important program for our economy. I think one thing that we will definitely make sure is that the youths are not just receiving the funds, but they also receive some training and support. I think even mentorship from other persons who have been successful is really important, that these persons don't feel that they're alone. So we are here to do some hand-holding as well.
Important prerequisites for the program are registration with the Youth in Business Project and the completion of required training.
Right, so this is good. This is a great, great partnership. But you will not hear the opposition talk about this. You will not hear them commend the government, commend the GDB and the government for partnering to move this forward to help young people to start their own little business and employ other young people, and also add value to the product. That is the key thing, because a person could plant nutmegs, so plant nutmegs and sell it in its raw state. But a person can plant, process it, or add value to it and make it into something that you can go in the supermarkets and purchase. Or if you're in New York, Canada, the UK, for example, you can just go somewhere and purchase it. That is what you want. So you get foreign revenues, foreign exchange coming in. So a person can have goats, for example, on a farm. But if they can cut the meat up properly, package it properly, if they can rear it for goat milk, it's a very expensive thing. Goat milk is expensive. It is healthier. It is way better than cow milk. And there are some people who can only utilize that type of milk, not the cow milk. So if they can add value to it, maybe make goat milk cheese, like Dr. George Vincent does on his farm. And there are other people who are doing a similar thing, adding value and packaging it properly and exporting it and getting the foreign revenue coming in. We know of so many of the herbs that people are making oils and making so many things out of it, right? I give you a typical example. My good friend here, Yawa Natural Products, right? A Yahweh, maybe it's Yahweh, a Yawa Natural Products. It's a young man who operates off the Spice and Craft Center at Grand Anse, close to the cemetery area. I think Esther's is down there too. Beach Bum is down there. That center, the Spice and Craft Center at Grand Anse. And this is nutmeg oil. All right. Mace. Right. Mace oil. So he makes the mace oil. All right. And he properly packaged, tells you for external use, internal use, what to do, the benefits. His number is here, 535-3550-533-6133. He makes avocado oil too, avocado oil. There's a whole list. He has the cocoa butter, he has the cocoa fat. I mean, You go there, you get a wider range of stuff. And I'm just using that as an example. I'm saying that that is what the government is trying to do, to add value to what you are doing or what you intend to do. So yes, you can plant peppers, but we want you to bottle it, process it and bottle it and add value to it, label it. And so the government is on the right track. The government is on the right track. But you will not hear the NNP, the opposition, speaking about these things, where young people can access financing, access mentoring, access support to start their business, to expand their business, to get new equipment. Only recently, I played a piece looking at 20 agro-processors, right? 20 agro-processors getting support to boost their businesses. I think it's about 20 of them. I played that piece. And a friend said to me, Kem Jones, boy, we are happy. We are extremely happy because, well, that particular individual said she was a part of that. She benefited from that. And she said, Kem Jones, boy, if you see equipment for agro-processors.
Through support from the World Bank's Food Security Enhancement Project, local agro-processors have received a boost that is expected to strengthen their livelihoods as they will be able to improve quality and increase quantity of value-added products to reduce produce loss. This as some 20 agro-processors received much-needed equipment to support their venture. A special ceremony was held on Wednesday in St. George's.
We are basically at the end of this component of the project because the equipment is here behind me in this storeroom. Some of the equipment, actually, some of it is still on the way, but the process begins now with the distribution. And so we have, I think, before us at least 20 recipients of equipment for processing and testing apparatus as a result of this project. And so give yourselves a round of applause again. And we want to thank you especially to the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation for really coming in the last minute and getting us that last leg to cross the finish line to ensure that that equipment could be in your hands today. So whether you are a small agro-processor and you are probably shifting now from taking custom orders to being able to reach a supermarket shelf, or you're a medium-sized agro-processor and you're now getting ready to expand your business so that you could consider exporting, our desire is that the equipment here that you would receive today is going to transform your business.
That was Kizzy Rennie, the technical officer within the agro-processing unit in the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Forestry, Marine Resources and Cooperatives. Honorable Lennox Andrews, Minister for Agriculture, suggested that the undertaking will significantly improve the productivity and efficiency of local processors, helping them to better meet market demands and reduce waste.
I am seeing the best modern equipment being made available to you for improving the quality of the work that you do. And what we are doing here this morning, by giving you these equipment, we are facilitating your production, and simultaneously we are putting you to work. So you work better, you work more efficiently, and of course you become more productive. So with this handout today, my friends, we are doing many things. We are helping our domestic local producers to increase domestic production, which will increase our gross domestic product, which means that we have more available for our consumption and an improvement in our living standards. It means that we are creating the base for expanding our agricultural production, because we have to have a constant supply of the raw material, so you would not be out of stock. It means that we are producing enough for our export, so that when our tourists come, They can get our own locally produced goods to consume. It means that as a people, we are patriotic, we are nationalistic, we look inwards. But it also means that as a people, we are proud because we have an industry that is producing goods that can be bought and consumed anywhere in the world.
Minister for Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, Honorable Andy Williams, whose ministry supported the implementation of the project, identified the undertaking as a direct investment into the heart of agro-processors, which would empower them to expand opportunities locally and internationally.
Today's handover of equipment is more than just a transfer of tools and machinery. It is a direct investment in the heart of agro-processors and the agro-processing sector. These resources will empower our agro-processors to increase production, improve quality, and expand opportunities both locally and internationally. Folks, agriculture is the foundation of our economy. But agro-processing is a bridge that takes us from raw material to transformation. By adding value to what we grow, we are not only creating jobs, but also inspire innovation, encourage entrepreneurship, and strengthen food security for all our people.
The project was funded by the Government of Grenada and the World Bank to the tune of $2.8 million.
Yes, and that's the way to go. Helping the agro-processors, helping the farmers, helping the young people to access financing, to access support. Because purchasing a piece of equipment could cost a ham and a leg. So getting the assistance and also having access to financing, because it was a similar thing with the creatives, the people in the creative industry. Yes, the government gave them 100% concession to bring in the equipment, to bring in all the materials and, to get the business going and to expand the business, but they needed access to finance. And then the government partnered with the Grenada Development Bank so that they can get access to soft financing. In other words, the interest rate is very low, it's very concessionary. For example, the partnership between the Ministry of Youth and GDB, I think the interest rate is 1% over a 5-year period. So you have 5 to 7 years to pay back the $30,000, all right? And it's 1% interest. Similar thing with the creatives, giving them access. So you're not hearing the opposition talk about these good things. Talk about the investment in healthcare. Talk about the investment in education. Talk about the investment in youth development. Talk about the investment in agriculture. They will not talk about these things. Talk about the investment in infrastructure in the country. Human resource development too. They will not, because they are not interested in that. They want to talk about the negative stuff. And they would just grab onto something. And they would talk about it for months or for weeks and months. That's how they do it. So they have been talking about cost of living, but they are not telling you about the things that the government is doing to ease up the burden from the backs of our people. They're not going to do that. In fact, when you speak to them, they will tell you, that's not my job. My job is to oppose and criticize and condemn and to speak about the ills and the bad things. They are the bearers of bad news. And I told you before, in days of old, you see somebody coming up and you know that they're coming to tell you that somebody died or somebody sick or some accident took place because you didn't have technology then. So that person was the person in the village responsible to carry the bad news. The NNP is exactly so. Bearers of bad news. But the Grenadian people are moving forward. You know, I had a laugh over the weekend. You know, the NDC New York chapter, they had their anniversary, 38 years anniversary. So they were celebrating that moment. And my good friend Perry, remember that guy who normally goes on, well, he would be on Ride Along from time to time. And me and him, we were on, I think, 3 or 4 times. And everybody in that room was dressed for the moment and the occasion. I think it was a meet and greet with the Honorable Kieran James. And this guy was dressed so off. And look, I don't zero in on people's attire, but I had to with him because it's a reflection of the NNP, although I cannot tell you that he's an NNP supporter because he never said so. But I am saying the way he dressed kind of say to me and point out that that's how the NNP is. Out of touch. I'm not saying that he's an NNP. He might be opposed to certain things when it comes to the government, and he has always been kind of an opposition element based on my observation and in interpretation, his stance. But just the way the guy dressed with his jacket and this brown aged jacket and tie and all, you know, and the people in there, they were so at ease, right? I was looking for that to show you because I think they took it down thereafter. But it says a lot about how they're out of touch because he came across as out of touch. But that's the NNP to me. That's the state that the NNP is at. I'm not saying that he's an NNP because he never said so. All right? But I'm saying the way he dressed in the midst of all of these people. And I want to congratulate the New York chapter of the NDC. You did a fantastic job in that whole hosting of the meet and greet and the actual event. You did a fantastic job there. I mean, every event that the NDC has overseas, they've been very, very successful. Very, 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 very successful. So it was a meet and greet he was at. Amidst everybody. Right? In the midst of everybody there. The guy looks odd. He looked odd. He looked like the odd guy. That's him there, right? But everybody else, you know, simple.
He's NNP. I don't know why he wants attention.
Right? So the guy was a mismatch, meaning that, you know, sometimes I see on this program that the NNP is like a BlackBerry. They cannot be updated. They cannot do anything new or creative. They're the same way, same old. And I may, from time to time, say other things, right? About, you know, like the derelict and the the same black and white analog TV. You see the point? I'm saying all of this to say it's like a mismatch. But I'm not telling you that this guy is an NNP. I'm not saying that. In fact, I will say he's not an NNP. He's just an opposition kind of guy. He likes to oppose. And many a times, he doesn't even know why he's opposing. But he reminds me of how the state of the NNP. When I look at the guy, everybody dressed simple and, it's not too cold in the United States now, in New York, and, meet and greet. It's a more semi-casual kind of thing. But the guy is formally dressed and is cloaky, jackety type of, but that's it. He reminds me of that. Right? Someone is saying that he's an independent. Okay. So he's an independent. All right. I'm saying you will not hear the NNP, the opposition, come out publicly and acknowledge the good things that the government is doing. In fact, people would have more respect for the NNP if they can, from time to time, acknowledge the good things that the government is doing. Yes, you're the opposition, but that doesn't mean to say you have to oppose everything, even the good things that the government is doing. You have to reach to that place where you can say, hey, while I am on the opposition side, I want to admit this initiative is a good initiative for my constituency, for my community, or for my country. But everything, when it comes to the NNP, it's to oppose, it's to condemn, it is to criticize. In other words, you have a whole bucket of mangoes and you spot one bad one and you decide, well, the entire bucket ain't good. So all you talk about for the entire day is that one spoiled mango. Ignoring that you have Julie, Ceylon, we say mango long, some say Cali Vini, some say Cali, some say, you all kind of name for it, and we can go on in that bucket. You have a whole bunch of banana, nice, but just one spoiled one, and all you focus on is that, or maybe two, where you focus on that. That's the NNP. The NNP has become very negative, worse than when Keith Mitchell was the leader of that party. They have become very, very negative. And they can see nothing good happening. So all they do is to criticize and condemn. But if you speak to the Grenadian people, they will tell you they're pleased with what they're seeing our government doing and continue to do. They're not perfect, but they're trying their best. They're trying their best. So, folks, I want to wish you all the best. I want to wish you well. We had a very long weekend. National Heroes Day gone. That was on Sunday. The holiday was on Monday, yesterday, today being Tuesday. On Saturday again, it will be Thanksgiving Day. On Saturday coming, as the 25th. So there is no holiday on Monday again. Because Saturday is an ordinary day. It will be a holiday. And then you have Sunday, long weekend again. but just that you're not getting Monday as a holiday. So Monday is an ordinary day. I think Monday is the 27th. I think 27th or the 26th, 27th. All right. So Monday is the 27th because the month has 31 days. So Monday is the 27th and month end would be the 31st, the Friday. All right. So again, just saying, have a wonderful weekend. Week. I'll be back with you tonight in the hub. You know, normally on holidays, I don't do programs. Before I used to, but I decided no, it's time to relax and free up. All right. So I'll be back tonight and, continue from there. All right. Take good care and bye for now. And see you. I hope you enjoyed your birthday vibes. I couldn't make it. But you know it goes. All right. Blessings flow.